You wake up. The room is quiet. You sit on the edge of the bed and stretch your back, maybe glance at the morning light coming through the blinds. You used to feel something else in the morning. A quiet strength. A readiness. A signal that your body was alive and circulating. And lately, that signal has been missing. Maybe you haven't said anything. Maybe you've told yourself it's just aging, just stress, just life. You sip your coffee. You move on. But somewhere deep down, you wonder if that missing signal means something more. And I want you to know it does. But not in the way you fear. Not as a failure. Not as a sign that you're done. It's simply a message. A soft knock from your body saying, hey, blood's not flowing like it used to, that's it. No shame. No disaster. Just feedback. And feedback is something we can work with. You see, what happens down there is often the first sign of what's happening everywhere else. If circulation slows in the pelvic region, it likely means it's slowing in your brain, in your heart, in your muscles. The morning signal isn't just about sex. It's about flow. And flow is life. I'm Dr. Catherine Rocker. And over the past 30 years, I've worked with thousands of men over 60 who thought their body had given up. Men who stopped reaching, stopped trying, stopped believing they could feel alive again. And you know what brought them back? Not pills. Not pressure. Not pretending. A glass. A breath. A rhythm. Because when you give the body what it's really asking for, it responds. Every time. And that starts with what you drink the moment you wake up. Most men think of morning erections as a sexual thing. A sign of desire, virility, testosterone. But what if I told you it's not about sex at all? It's about circulation. It's about blood. And it's one of the clearest, earliest signals your body gives you that everything is working as it should. When you're sleeping, your body isn't turned off. It's repairing. Restoring. Resetting hormone levels and oxygen delivery. And if your blood vessels are open, if your nervous system is calm, if your body feels safe, you'll wake up with flow not just in your head or your chest, but down there. But if that signal has gone missing, if you wake up feeling flat, numb, or nothing at all, it means blood isn't getting where it used to go. And that is not just about function. It's about health. As men age, nitric oxide production drops. This is the molecule that tells your blood vessels, hey, open up. Let's move. Without it, circulation slows. Especially to smaller, more delicate vessels like the ones in your pelvis. And here's the quiet danger, that loss doesn't happen all at once. It happens slowly. So slowly that you don't notice it until one day, the signal's just gone. But the body doesn't do that without reason. It pulls back when it's overworked. When cortisol is high. When you're dehydrated. When your mornings begin with caffeine, worry, and no movement. And the longer that signal stays silent, the more your body starts to believe it's no longer needed. That's why this isn't just about hormones. It's about how you treat your system. And how you begin your morning can either restore that signal or shut it down even further. But the good news? It doesn't take much to bring it back. It just takes intention. One small habit. One glass. One drink that tells your body, flow matters here. I'm ready to feel again, and no one proved that better than a man named George who spent 8 months in silence before one simple shift changed everything. George was 69 when he sat across from me, his hands folded, his shoulders a little too still. He looked like the kind of man who once held a room with ease, not loud, just steady. But that morning, his voice shook when he said, "It's been almost 8 months. Nothing in the morning. Nothing at all." He wasn't talking about sex. He was talking about that quiet sign, that sense of readiness that used to greet him at dawn. The one that had slowly faded until silence became normal. He had tried things. More coffee. A new supplement someone at the gym recommended. A topical gel from a men's clinic that made big promises. But nothing stayed. Nothing felt natural. And nothing brought him back. Then one morning, his wife, who had gently avoided the topic for months, looked at him over breakfast and said, "You're here, but it's like, you're not really in your body anymore." That sentence didn't hurt him. It woke him up. Not with shame, but with a strange kind of clarity. He realized it wasn't just about performance. It was about presence. It was about flow. About feeling connected to the life inside him. That day, George didn't start a new medication. He started something much simpler. He changed what he drank each morning. He gave his body a signal it hadn't received in years: hydration, warmth, nitric oxide, and intention, all in a single glass. And within days, something began to stir. It wasn't immediate. It wasn't dramatic. But it was real. And it started, not in the bedroom, but in the mirror. In how he stood. How he breathed. How he looked at himself before shaving. He said, "For the first time in months, I felt like I might be coming back." And from that moment forward, his body listened. George didn't need another pill. He didn't need more caffeine. What his body needed was something gentle, something consistent, and something designed to bring blood back to where it had gone quiet. So we built him a drink. Not a supplement. Not a gimmick. A real drink made from natural ingredients with real effects on blood flow. And we made it part of his morning rhythm. Because the first thing you put in your body after waking sends a message to your entire system. Here's what it looks like. Start with 1 glass of warm water, not hot, not cold. Squeeze in half a lemon for vitamin C and gentle liver support. Add 1 teaspoon of beetroot powder, or 2 to 3 ounces of fresh beet juice. Then a pinch of cayenne pepper, or if that's too strong, a slice of fresh ginger. And finally, for a little boost in circulation and mood, add a small square of 85% dark chocolate, let it melt into the warm liquid, and stir until it blends. That's it. This combination might sound simple, but it's powerful. Beetroot increases nitric oxide, which tells your blood vessels to open up and flow. Cayenne or ginger stimulate microcirculation, especially in the pelvic area. Dark chocolate contains flavonoids that relax the arteries and support mood, making it easier for your nervous system to switch from survival into connection. And warm water? It's the foundation. It wakes up the digestive system, hydrates your blood, and sets the tone for everything that comes next. George drank this mixture every morning, on an empty stomach, then waited 20 minutes before breakfast. No rushing. No multitasking. Just 1 glass, 1 habit, and 1 message. I want flow, and within a week, his body started sending messages back. The first shift didn't come with fireworks. It came quietly, just like the silence that had settled in before it. After 7 days, George began sleeping deeper. He felt less bloated in the morning, less dry in the mouth, less foggy behind the eyes. But what really caught his attention was a subtle warmth low in his abdomen, a feeling he hadn't noticed in months. He told me it wasn't anything big, just this sense that something was waking up. That warmth wasn't desire. It was circulation. It was blood moving again, slowly but surely, in places that had gone quiet. By day 14, his energy was steadier. He didn't crash mid-morning like before. He stopped reaching for a second cup of coffee. And one morning, just before stepping into the shower, he paused. Looked down. And smiled. The signal was back. Not strong. Not lasting. But there. Alive. Present. It gave him confidence, not just in his body, but in the idea that change was still possible. At 30 days, his entire morning felt different. He moved with rhythm. He greeted his wife with a touch, not hesitation. He didn't have to try to feel ready. He simply was. And when he looked at himself in the mirror, he didn't see a man past his prime. He saw a man who had returned to himself. He told me, I didn't become someone new, I just stopped being absent. And that's what this journey is about. Not chasing youth. Not forcing anything. Just coming back into your body slowly, gently, with every breath and every drop of flow you choose to restore. George didn't need a prescription. He didn't need blue pills. He didn't need to feel like his body was broken. What he needed, what most men over 60 need, was simple. Blood flow. Because erections aren't created in a bottle. They're created by the body. By vessels that are open, by nerves that are calm, by oxygen that moves freely into the deepest parts of you. Pills force a response. But flow invites one. And that invitation lasts longer, feels better, and doesn't leave you wondering what's missing. When your body feels safe, when your blood is moving, when your system is nourished, your response returns. Not always suddenly. Not always like before. But naturally. Gently. And in a way that reminds you, this is still mine. Too many men chase performance and forget about the system behind it. They look for stimulation instead of supporting their foundation. But the truth is, you don't have a performance issue. You have a circulation issue. And the moment you restore that, the rest often follows. You don't need to be fixed. You need to be fed, with movement. With minerals. With breath. With rhythm. And with one small act every morning that says, I'm coming back to life. That's how George returned. That's how thousands of men are returning. Not by fighting harder, but by flowing better. If you followed this journey from the beginning, you already understand this is not about chasing youth or forcing performance. It's about creating space for your body to respond again, with ease, with rhythm, and with the kind of trust that doesn't come from pills, but from presence. George didn't begin with certainty. He started with doubt, with silence, with mornings that felt heavy and disconnected. But what changed him wasn't a breakthrough moment, it was the quiet commitment to show up for himself in the simplest way he could. One glass. One breath. One act of belief that his body still wanted to come back. And it did. That's why I'm not asking you to fix anything today. I'm inviting you to start feeding the part of you that's been waiting to be noticed again. You don't need to prove anything. You just need to show up. To your morning. To your flow. To your own return. So if you're ready to begin, not tomorrow, not when it's perfect, but tonight, so that tomorrow starts with a signal instead of silence, I want you to comment below. Morning flow. Not for me, not for anyone else. But for you. For your body. For the version of yourself that's still inside, still willing, still alive. And if there's a man you know who needs to hear this, someone who's gone quiet, who's stopped reaching, who wakes up numb and doesn't know why, send him this. Because sometimes all it takes to return is seeing another man say, I'm trying. This is how we come back. Not with noise. But with flow. And I'll be right here, walking beside you, every morning you choose to begin again. Dr. Catherine Rocker.